Hey, welcome everybody to tekmix.tv. Wow, it has been a crazy few minutes around here. Our internet was totally down, and now it's back up. Man, what a crazy night. How's it going tonight,
Wow, hey, good thing that we have internet because it's what we need to broadcast the show to you guys. So thanks to Time Warner for hanging in there. And here we are. So I'm glad you guys stuck with us. You're not going to regret it. We got a great show tonight. Good things going on. So we've already wasted about 11 minutes of your time. So we're going to jump right in to get it going.
Jump right into the tech news. Man, a lot of stuff going on this week. A lot of stuff's been happening out in the tech world. We got a great show planned tonight. We're going to do a little bit of a demo on the Android operating system. Those of y'all that have Androids, get ready to call in at 512-843-2835 or send us a text to that same number. We'd love to hear your questions and handle your questions here in just a little bit. But first, before we get to that demo, man, let's talk about what's going on out there in the tech world tonight.
Let's do it. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is, so for those of you that have had Netflix, the Netflix, had a little old school joke for you. For those of you that have the Netflix, you may have noticed in the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, you've had issues. I know that we were trying to get on Netflix through PlayStation 3, and we weren't able to do it, and then we tried getting on through Apple TV, we weren't able to do it, we didn't know what the deal was. Well, this past week, Netflix issued out an apology to all of its members, and they're offering a 3% cash back on your subscription for the time that it was down. And I don't know if 3% is going to change anybody's life, but it's a good gesture from the company. It's them saying, "Hey, we messed up. Sorry about that. Appreciate you, and hope you still stick with Netflix and keep watching." So
what the heck was going on, man? What did they ever explain why they were down or anything like that?
I think what they had was Time Warner Cable. They might have had the same issue that we had tonight. So they had to reset a couple of routers, and once they reset the routers, I think everything was ship-shape over at Netflix HQ. My wife and I used to joke about Netflix because we had the Xbox 360, and Netflix when they first were pumping out streaming, they one of the first things they went on outside of a computer was the Xbox 360. So we were excited. We downloaded the Xbox app or whatever on or the Netflix app on the Xbox, and we would always watch Netflix through there. Well, the Xbox, we never had it on Wi-Fi, so we had the Xbox directly connected into the main router, no wireless router in between. So we would have it go straight from the Earth's internet straight into the Xbox, right? So we knew we had a solid connection, and every now and then the Netflix movie would stop, and we'd get a little message from Netflix saying, your internet connection has slowed. We're basically we're dumbing down the video so your internet can handle it. And we always used to joke that, everything's ship-shape over here at Netflix HQ. Something's up with your internet. So sorry for you. It was that kind of thing. So it's really cool for a company to do that, for a company to own up. I remember Toyota did it a couple of years ago. Remember they had a couple of cars that were just, and they kind of owned up and said, hey, sorry, appreciate you, and kind of owned up. So it's good to see a company do that.
Right. And so last week we talked about how AT&T is proposing to buy out T-Mobile. And if you want, you can go back and check our show last week. We talked about some of the pros and cons and some of that kind of stuff. Well, now we've heard that Sprint has jumped in and is saying that they're going to oppose it. And they're trying to get the government to not let that merger go through. I'm not a very big fan of that merger, man. What about you? I'm not a very big fan of that merger. It takes some competition off the market. The camera is on you.
Well, I like that. Yeah, just randomly throw things to me and I'll jump right in. Well, we talked about it last week, so I don't know. There's good things and there's bad things about it. The good things is that maybe some AT&T customers will inherit some of the T-Mobile customer service. I think T-Mobile has great phones, and that hopefully that creativeness, that creativity will head over to AT&T. But I think it seems like AT&T is kind of like this, I don't know, like this big bully that's just saying, we got money to burn. You know, we got $39 billion in our pocket, and if this still doesn't work out, that's okay, T-Mobile. You can have $3 billion for us using your time. So I don't know. The bad parts, like you said, it takes competition off the market, and that's the opposite of what we want to happen. That's the opposite of what drives innovation in technology in our country, in business. So I think the more people you have out there, I think last week we put out a challenge to everyone out there to start your own cell phone company. Cell phone, what is this, the 90s? To start your own mobile phone company. And so if you've started your own mobile phone company, we would like to invest in you today. If you've started that mobile phone company, call us on that mobile phone at 512-843-2835. We would love to hear your story and how you're doing with that.
That's right. You know, another huge news story.
That's three huges.
That's right. With 3 exclamation marks, which makes it even better. Was last Tuesday after our show, or actually probably during our show, the Amazon App Store launched. They launched basically a competitor to Google's Android market. And I found out this week, man, that they have an actual, like a test drive. They have a virtual Android machine on their site that they can use. You can use to play the apps. What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, I think it's a good deal. Go ahead and throw the camera to me then. I guess it's on me. I really love that they do that, because for me, it's always like that with software. I would always there's this thing. It says even if it's like $1, you don't want to put $1 down if you're going to download. You're like, oh man, this sucks. This is not what I wanted. You know, this test drive thing really kind of just relieves the customer of that. I don't know. What do you think about that, Randy?
I love it, man. Yeah. You know, when the Google, thank you. When the Google first launched the market, you could actually buy an app for 24 hours and do whatever you wanted with it, which was pretty sweet because you could check something out. You had a whole day to try it out. Well, now with this new update of the Google market, they've taken that to 15 minutes. So you can test drive an app for 15 minutes. And if you do a refund before the 15 minutes is up, you're not charged. So pretty good thing here. So you can load the app in the Amazon App Store, which, by the way, we talked about this some last week. Mm-hmm. I love the Amazon App Store because every day they're giving away a free app.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week, and I think it'd be good to clarify for you guys what the Amazon App Store is. For those of you that don't have an Android or you're not really sure what it is, it's not an app that lets you search on Amazon for things you want to buy, right? It's Amazon created an app store for Android apps. So it's basically like the Android App Store, except Amazon owns it. Amazon wants a little piece of the pie, and they have these apps, and because they've just launched, like Randy said, they're giving away an app a day, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, no, they've given away like Angry Birds Rio, 2 or 3 games that were like $5 each. They've given away one of the offshoot keyboards or whatever for Android that I really like. They gave that away one day. So it's been pretty sweet, man. Lots of free stuff. I'm getting excited about going there every day. Except today it was the Newsweek app, which is like, I don't know, you know. It is, man, because it's like reading stuff that happened like 2 days ago. Yeah. As opposed to the Pulse app, which we talked about last week, which is iOS and Android. Get news right now. Going to the Newsweek app was like... It was like a, you know,
I think tekmix.tv brings you news faster than the Newsweek app does. Right. I want to say it does.
That's right. That once a week.
Well, no, it's not once a week, because what you got to do is go out to Twitter, go to @TEKMIXTV, and you can follow us there, right? Or you can go to facebook.com/tekmixtv, and you guys can follow all the news there. And we're updating it throughout the week of things that are going on. And as you guys follow that and look at those updates, man, get all your questions gathered. And when we come to the show, you guys can call us, text us, email us, and ask us those questions. So, hey, that phone number once again, 512-843-2835. You guys call in and text in. We'd love to get your questions answered.
We've got a bunch of comments that came in. Do we want to read any of those?
Yeah, sure.
Brianna asked, is it true that they got sued by Apple because they stole the name App Store? I think their official answer is App Store is 2 words, and their app store is one word. Have you noticed that? It's one word. I don't know what's going to happen, but it would be just like Amazon, just to mess things up and throw it out there and see what happens.
Yeah, I think more and more about this because, there was that shenanigans with Microsoft and using the App Store, right? And then now there's Amazon, and the old school Apple fanboy side of me wants to say, Apple has a right to patent whatever their weirdo guys want to patent,
sure,
right? And obviously no one had ever patented it before, so that's why they have it. And I think it's okay to fight for that patent. And on the other side, I'm like, you know what, guys? Seriously, let's just take it easy, and everybody has an app store. So I'm really torn on this,
right? And
it really bothers me how torn I am on it.
Right.
I want to just say either forget about it or fight for it. And I don't know where I stand there.
Is it kind of like they trademarked grocery store, and then now Amazon has come back and made it all one word, grocery store? I mean, is it kind of like that? Is that kind of where your struggle is, or kind of what's your struggle there?
Well, my struggle is, kind of like I just said, if you want to rewind the tape, is that Apple put a patent on it, and if you put a patent on it, then it's your intellectual property. Just like if you and I patented tekmix.tv as an internet show, and then all of a sudden somebody else wanted to do an internet show, and they called it tekmix, no dot, and then TV, and it's different. It's not the same thing, but then we're sitting here like, well, we put a patent on it, and you are trying to do the same thing.
That's right.
So I don't know. I mean, on one hand, it's just a lot of corporate shenanigans. On the other hand, it's we got here first, so why are you trying to steal our idea?
Right,
so,
right.
I don't know.
That's
what do you guys think? What do you think out there?
Text us. Send in the comments.
Team
Let
Tekmix,
us know.
man. We want to know what you guys think. We're here for you.
That's right. That's right.
Back to Randy.
So anyway, but we think it's a great thing that they opened up another store. They're giving away apps. I think it's going to make it a little harder as a developer. I signed up for Google App Store, whatever they call it, market. I guess we better be careful. We might get sued. I signed up for a market developer account a few weeks ago, and I don't know if I'm going to have to get like a new account with Android, or are they going to make me pay? But I know they're not approving every single app that comes their way, that they're being very selective about the apps that come their way. So as a developer, it may turn out that I don't really like it that much. So what else is going on out there in the tech world tonight?
Well, we always talk about how we're not huge fans of rumors, right? But here we go.
That's right. Wow.
So Mobile
and
Me.
You know who you are. That's for you.
Yeah. So Mobile Me is a service that Apple provides. Okay.
Right.
It's their cloud service for you syncing your contacts, your calendar events, and your email. Okay. So it's in this cloud, and it copies over from your computer up into the cloud down to your iPhone, to your iPad, to your iPod, to Mobile Me or mobileme.com or me.com, and it's a pretty cool service. There's a few bugs in it that Apple has kind of worked on and then not worked on and then worked on, and actually it's pretty seamless for what its purpose is. Mm-hmm. Now, there's rumors that they're gonna kind of relaunch it. Well, it's been confirmed that they're gonna be talking about Mobile Me at the upcoming WWDC, which stands for the Worldwide Developers Conference, which is of course a TLA.
Right. Which is a three-letter acronym.
Yeah, it's actually an FLA.
A four-letter acronym.
Four-letter acronym. So the rumor that's coming up is they're going to be offering a music locker for $20 a year.
Sweet.
And this is exciting because what this could mean is that you can have access to all your iTunes music. Because if any of you out there, obviously the huge struggle with your music and any of your mobile devices is there's never enough room, no matter how large your mobile device is, to carry all your music.
Right.
I mean, you can get an iPod that has 120 gig, and still, for us at our house, that's still not enough to carry all the music that we have.
Wow.
Yeah, so that wasn't like a brag or anything. I didn't mean to make it seem we're rich with all the music that we have. All the music LimeWire's given us. Just kidding.
Wow.
So this $20 a year music locker thing could be a big deal. It could be a game changer again. I don't want to say that anything Apple does is a game changer, but they when they do make moves, they like to make them big moves.
Right. That's right.
So
the only thing we like about LimeWire is it puts viruses in.
Hey, it's a great segue.
I mean,
so, yeah.
I don't know that we like that, but
we don't like it. But Randy and I, of course, are getting our our computer business going, Tech Rescue. That's TEKRESCUE. And man, the whole point of Tech Rescue is it's kind of just outflowing of what we do on the show here. Is we want to help you guys make technology work for you. That's what we do. We want to make technology work for you. So, you know, getting rid of viruses, locating them, finding them, and it's not just about getting rid of your viruses. It's teaching you how they got there, where they came from, how you can avoid getting viruses in the future.
And a lot of them come from LimeWire.
And a lot of them, in fact, just recently we fixed a computer that had LimeWire on it. I mean, and that's just a big red flag. It's almost. It's
pretty
almost
much a guarantee.
Yeah, it's almost unfair that we get on there like, okay, we're just gonna delete LimeWire, and that'll be the service. So, well, I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff in the news, Randy. So, why don't you take it away?
That's cool.
Okay.
You know, there's a couple things coming out this week about Apple and the iPhone and jailbreaking. There's a brand new. It's been
a busy week.
It
for,
really has.
For the Apple iOS. It really has.
Yeah. They released this week. They released 4.3.1.
Okay.
And I've heard there's rumors that there is a tethered jailbreak available. In case you don't know, that means that you jailbreak the iPhone, and as long as you never reboot it, it stays jailbroken. And the reason we like, we're not giving advice that you should jailbreak, right? Because you could brick your phone if you do it, but it allows you to do some cool stuff like see all your running apps at one time and, be able to kill stuff off that's running on your thing and make it run faster and stuff like that. So, tethered jailbreak out right now. We got an untethered jailbreak that supposedly is on its way. And so those are some of the bigger things out there. New version of Cydia, which is the jailbroken app stores going on. I wanted to say something about MobileMe, though. We just talked about MobileMe a second ago, and I don't know if you guys have heard. If you haven't heard, I want you to be the first people to hear it, okay? Here on tekmix.tv, right?
You heard it first.
You heard it first.
On tekmix.tv.
There is a giant factory that Apple is building up in the hills in North Carolina. It is in the middle of nowhere. Aerial photography. It's just like woods everywhere, and then bam. There's this giant facility. I would have to guess 200,000 or 300,000 square foot. Just this giant facility, and the rumor is that it's for MobileMe. And so you're hearing rumors of them starting to have a locker for your music.
Lockbox.
That's right. We heard. That's right. We heard rumors we talked about a couple weeks ago about the same kind of thing for your apps. And we know there's been some problems with MobileMe, and Apple's really committed to making that work. And so I think that's just going to be like this huge launch. Okay, we fixed the bugs, in MobileMe. We're now going to have apps, and we're going to have music, and it's all going to be out of this giant facility in the woods in North Carolina. So you heard it first. Tekmix TV. We don't know if it's going to be true or not. Have you heard that? Have you heard any of that?
You know what? I think it's going to be. It's probably going to be, a ton of servers, right? I mean,
server farm.
You're talking like petabytes of.
Yeah, exactly.
Of data.
That's a lot of bytes.
Exabytes.
That's right.
Can you imagine? More. Can you imagine if there was an exabyte? That's more bytes than the human brain. Or anyway, what do you think about that, Randy?
I think that's awesome, and it was pretty cool. Several people commented on our Facebook page. We've had several people comment on our send us a text. Guys, send us your questions about this stuff to 512-843-2835. We'd love to hear your comments and questions and stuff like that. And then one last big rumor that's out there, man, that's floating around. I know tonight there's a lot of rumors, man. It's just crazy. But there's a rumor that Google is going to be starting a music service. Have you heard about that one?
Yeah,
Man.
I don't think I like it.
Why not?
We're always a big fan of Google's moves, and
usually.
That's cool. And I really think that Google is kind of pushing themselves into areas they don't really need to be in.
Yeah.
There was Google Books that came out maybe a couple of months ago, and I don't know. You don't need Google Books,
right?
In my opinion,
right?
And there's a lot of services that Google has that they've kind of gone away, and Google's kind of forgotten about them or whatever. And you got to try new things, and that's fine. But I just don't think there's a need for Google Music. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe they'll have something cool that people need, but I don't know. I just don't see. I don't mean to be all old-fashioned. There's no room for new ideas, or we're going to close the patent office because all the ideas have been thought up, or anything like that. For you history buffs, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
They have they've made billions and billions of dollars in advertising, and we've benefited from that because they take their extra money and they do stuff with it. They try new ideas. Here they are. They're maybe going to launch a music thing. They try ideas. Some of them work. Some of them don't work. So I'm a big fan of it, man. I think if it works, man, more power to them. And I'm sure there'll be some kind of a twist to it, that will cause innovation. I think like the whole idea. I don't know who had the idea first, but being able to put your music on the cloud, being able to put your apps in the cloud. I think Android kind of has brought up some features there that maybe that got Apple to listen. I don't know. And maybe something will happen like that with this Google thing. It'll come out and they'll think of something that's really cool and that we really need. And, we didn't know we needed, but then, bam. And now all of a sudden everybody's having to play catch up for a little bit to get in. That could be a good thing that could happen.
Yeah, that's true. I just, this is just how my brain works. I just thought of like, Google is kind of like, is becoming that like little kid who always wants to follow you around and do whatever you're doing. Hey, I can do that too, and they'll try it, and it's not as great, but everybody wants to watch them because they're the cute little kid.
Right.
And I want to say that's kind of how Google's acting, but then they'll put out this new functionality for Google Maps, and they'll change the way that you can see the world. So yeah. I mean, I don't want to belittle them, even though I just did.
Wow.
So hey, we got a few comments come in. Manuel from San Antonio.
Oh, sweet action, man.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it from
him
in a
all
few
the way
weeks.
from San Antonio.
Texas.
Texas. He said, is it true that AT&T is texting clients who have jailbroken phones and forcing them into their internet sharing plans? True.
That's right. True.
Boom. Roasted. So what
true.
AT&T is doing is there's an app called MyWi, okay?
And it's a jailbroken app.
It's a jailbroken app. You have to jailbreak your phone to get it, and it costs $20 for the app from these guys. They've done a great job with it. It's an excellent app. But what it does is it allows you to tether on your phone. And we talked a little bit about this last week. How if it's my internet plan and it's unlimited, why can't I use it how I want? Right. That's kind of the argument there.
That's right.
And AT&T is saying they're sending out text messages and emails to some client or some customers that are saying, hey, we've noticed that you've been tethering and you're not on a tethering plan.
Right.
So if you don't stop tethering, we're going to automatically enroll you into the unlimited or the 4 gig upper tier pro data tethering plan, which is an extra $30 a month.
Wow.
So you have to let us know if you're not going to do that.
Wow.
So, and the rumors are maybe they're going to do it to everybody. Maybe they're just going to do it to enough people to scare everybody off from it. So, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. And, we talk about, big corporate moves like that. And I don't know if it's necessarily, I mean, obviously I don't like it.
Right.
But just because I feel that I don't want them to get all Sony on us, and we're geo hot, right? But
that's right. And write them off forever, by the way, which we've done with them.
Yes, unless they come out with PS4. And then,
wow.
Maybe I'll buy a used PS4. That way my money doesn't go to Sony.
There you go. There you go.
So anyway, so that is true. It's a good question, good comment.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's maybe they're just sending it out because I know people that have not received that text yet, that have not been notified of that. Maybe they're only sending it out to the people that are using 8 gigabytes a month and stuff like that. There are people that kind of abuse that and take advantage. You know what I'm saying, Dom?
Yeah.
They take advantage of that, and maybe they're downloading like 8-9 gigabytes on their phone. I mean, you can't do that unless you're tethering.
Right.
And so maybe they're kind of assuming that they're tethering. I mean, although there are ways to tell, you can tell if they're pulling, if it's from tether because there's desktop data being sent through your phone, so they can tell that way. So that's another reason why I'm a little leery of the whole AT&T buying out T-Mobile.
Right.
Because like on the MyTouch, it has tethering built in, and you can let 2 people tether on the whatever plan, the unlimited plan that you already have. They don't charge extra for that. And if you want more than 2, I think then you have to pay like $15 a month for like the full blown. But if you just want 2 people at a time to connect, they're like cool with that.
Yeah.
So and I think I don't know. It is definitely true. So what other questions were there?
Man,
My internet's totally down over here. Sweet.
Yeah, our texts are blowing up. We got a question. Are you guys going to offer any coupons for your new business?
Yes,
It's a great
10%
question.
off if you mention tekmix.tv.
10%, and that's
right.
That's a good percentage.
Heck
I mean,
yeah.
and if you're already watching the show, so you're in luck.
That's right.
Yeah, so tell your friends if they watch the show and they mention tekmix.tv, then they get 10% off.
Automatic 10% discount.
Off the services. So
That's right.
Great question. I want to go through a couple of these.
Okay.
Is there a legit app? Is there a legit Netflix app for the Android? First of all, props for using the word legit.
I think that's a Tekmix Bingo app. Tekmix Bingo.
We should make a Tekmix Bingo app.
App.
Oh,
Sweet.
boom, roasted.
Bam. That's
so
right.
Is there a Netflix app for the Android?
Wow. Okay, check this out. That's a great question. Netflix is, I don't know for what reason, but they're getting all weird on this, and they're certifying certain processors on certain phones for Netflix. I can't understand that for the life of me, though, because Netflix has always been about getting the most, being on the most devices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Roku and stuff like that. It's like they want to get on every device. So here's the answer to your question. There's a short answer and a long answer. Short answer. This week, out of nowhere, somebody put out an update to one of the Netflix apps on the store. And guess what? It played Netflix. And so for like 2 hours, everybody's like, woo, we got Netflix on the new app, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
They made the mistake of tweeting it. And Netflix heard about it. Netflix disabled it. I don't know how they did it or whatever, but it disabled it. So there's no more Netflix now on Android. They're talking about putting it out, but they're going through this process of certifying the processors, which, like I said, I can't understand that for the life of me. I can play Netflix at home on my ancient laptop that weighs like 48 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We use that for playing Hulu stuff that only plays on the web, so we can't run it through our Roku. And it plays Netflix like a champ. So, I mean, and my phone has more or as much processing power almost as that thing, so, and it's a little bitty screen. So, I don't know. So, good question.
All right, we had another comment come in, kind of what we were talking about earlier with Mobile Me. We got a lovely little lady who writes in and says they've had a Mobile Me account for a while, and they're starting to use Google more and more for email contacts, right? And they're really loving what Google's doing, and they're getting a lot from the way we're explaining it, which is good. That's what we love to hear. Is we only want to explain things in a way that you guys are served by it, right? That we're helpful to you guys. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time up here. They said they really like what Google and Amazon are doing. That it's not necessarily a bad move to try to copy, quote unquote, copy what Apple's doing or what they've done, because it's almost good business to take advantage of. We always talk about how with Apple you love them or hate them, right? There's no middle ground with Apple. So there's really a niche of customers who just will not do anything Apple because it's Apple. So if you can grab a hold onto those people, like we always talk about, there's still 70% of the world that is never it doesn't even have an Apple right now.
Right.
As popular as Apple is, as much of the media as they are, there's still in the very, very small majority of people with as far as computers and mobile devices. Right. So that's a great comment. Thanks for sending that in. Got another comment. Here we go. Someone in Houston says that that Apple thing we were talking about is going to be a server farm. That there's an article in Mac Rumors. Hey, that's great. I love to see you guys out there checking the rumors too and checking the websites. You guys got to send that to us throughout the week, and we'll make sure to give you credit for sending us the article. And and we'll mention it during the show. They got a comment that Google is turning into Kevin Bacon.
What the heck?
Because anyone in Hollywood, you can connect them to Kevin Bacon. Wow. So Google's like any service that's out there, it's like you got to pump gas, and there's a Google gas pump next to it that syncs with your Gmail. So as you're pumping, it feeds in your Gmail. I don't know. I just made that
crazy.
Up. Patent that idea.
It's actually, I think it's a good thing, because I was just thinking while these questions were coming in that used to, let's say like 2 years ago. No, not 2 years ago. Let's go back to 4 years ago. Before the iPhone came out, before Android, about the only way that you could get instant syncing of your contacts, calendar, and email to your phone was if you had a Microsoft Exchange server. Mm-hmm. And Exchange is one of those things, like, it works like a champ, but it doesn't have a jillion features to it. What you need it for, man, it works. I remember when they announced Snow Leopard had support for Exchange at the Apple press relief. The crowd went crazy because people love Exchange. It works, but here's the deal: with the iPhone coming on board, with Mobile Me, and with Android coming on board, with Google Sync, it's helped because it's given us more options. So the whole music thing, I think it'll just help give us more options. Is what I think.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Other comments out there?
Man,
my internet's completely down.
There
over
is,
here.
yeah. I'm actually might get a text from AT&T right now for what I'm doing. So one of our viewers asks, what if you don't use the MyWi thing often? Right? If you don't use it often, then can you still get in trouble? Are you still going to get the text or the email from AT&T? They haven't jailbroken their phone yet. They've been thinking about it, but now if they're going to do it for that, does that mess things up? And I mean, I don't know. I mean, they might. Like we were saying earlier that it might be just a scare tactic, and if they do it to enough people and enough people blog about it and tweet about it and do all that, then they might accomplish their goal, or maybe they're going to go through each and every account and do that. I mean, it's not like that. It wouldn't be worth it, because if you have certain people, like you said, if they're using it these are the ones that you always watch out for, right? If they're using it to download, the Lord of the Rings Blu-ray trilogy, through their iPhone,
14 gigabytes,
right? Then then AT&T is going to be like, well, if they're sucking up all this bandwidth and using up all this data, then it's going to be worth killing all of these,
right?
So our network is fast, and we can get more people and charge people more money.
Well, and really, honestly, you shouldn't be using your phone, which has the MyWi or whatever it's called app. Is it MyWi, correct?
MyWi.
You shouldn't be using your phone like as your main source of internet. I mean, to me, you have tethering for situations like this. Network is down. Part of the network is down here. We can't control it. It's Time Warner's fault, I guess. I don't know. But you're using it to tether right now so we can be back online for receiving texts and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, that to me, that's legit.
Right.
Okay? I mean, if you're using it to watch Netflix all day long, we should go out and buy a data plan, or something like that. I mean, that's just, to me, that's right.
Yeah.
Using it for, and it wouldn't be right to be downloading, stuff like that. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah.
Any more comments? We had one more big piece of news this week, and unless we have some more questions,
let's go with the news. There's more comments, but let's go with the news, and we'll grab it here in a sec.
Firefox 4 came out. Big deal. Remember, we let you guys know, hopefully it was the first time you ever heard it, was on tekmix.tv, that Firefox was changing their strategy. Instead of one major upgrade a year, they're going to start upgrading every 6 or 8 weeks or so, just like Google Chrome. Well, they've come out with Firefox 4, which they've said is their last huge release. They had 6 million downloads in the first 24 hours.
Wow.
Which is pretty sweet. I think I saw today or yesterday they had probably 25, 35 million since then. Pretty big deal, man. Pretty big deal they've had so many downloads. What you think?
Well, I love Firefox, and Firefox 4, I've been using it. I was one of the 6 million downloads, so,
Sweet action.
You're welcome, Firefox.
It was last Tuesday it came out, right?
Yes.
Man, we had, Firefox 4 and the Android App Store and iPhone 4.3. We had a lot of stuff come out.
Man, it's amazing how fast this technology is moving. I don't mean to sound like an old man, but there's a lot of things going on. So I love what Firefox is doing, and we talked about a couple of shows ago how they're going to be coming up with some major updates. Firefox 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think, almost all in this year.
In the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, in the next 6 hours. So you guys have your browsers ready. Somebody said that. We talked about Internet Explorer 9 came out last week also, or during the 2 weeks we had off, and somebody I worked with told me, wow, Internet Explorer 9, it downloads Firefox so much faster than Internet Explorer 8.
Wow.
And the joke there is that all you use Internet Explorer for is to download Firefox, and then you never open it again.
Yeah, and I
Yellow
heard
resin from the birch tree.
Wow. I read a blogger this past week that said basically Firefox 9 was like, you brought something really awesome and amazing to the party that blew everybody's mind, but the problem was everybody had already left. Okay, we have a phone call right here, right now. Tekmix.tv, who we have the pleasure of speaking with. They hung up. What the scallop? Okay.
I think our phones were off, so I just turned them on. So I think that was the first call.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you have called and you weren't able to get through, please give us a call again. Sorry about the interruption in service there. Call us at 512-843-2835. In fact, help us test the phones. Just for that. You don't even have to ask us a question. Call us at 512-843-2835. We'd love to know what you guys think about this. If you've been using Firefox 4, like we said, it's been out for a week. So if you've been using it, give us a call. Tell us what you think about what's been good, what's been bad, what's changed that you don't like, that you do like. And there's a video that we want to show you guys. Actually, there's not a video.
We can't show it.
Oh, right.
This internet's down.
Right. Thank you, Time Warner.
Yeah.
So there was a video that we can show next time. So. I had another question come in here. Here we go.
Hey, okay, the phones are going crazy tonight.
Wow. Hopefully we get a caller this time.
That's right. Tekmix.tv, who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
Hey, it's Renee. I was just helping you test the phones out.
Hey, Renee, how's it going? Is this Renee that asked us last week about the jailbreak for the Samsung?
Yeah, actually it is.
Oh, cool,
I was
man.
hoping you found some information about that. Have you?
Man, we've been looking. It's pretty slim, the information that we've seen, and man, as soon as we find it, we'll tweet about it. So, how long you been listening to the show, man?
Actually, this is my third like full watching
Sweet,
of the
man.
show.
So what's that?
Oh, I said I watch all of the episodes at school. As
Oh,
much as I
cool,
can.
man. So, San Marcos High School?
Got it.
All right, we want to give a shout out to San Marcos High School right now. And I'm sure you've heard, man, the Diamond Line from San Marcos High School won Grand National Champions of the whole world, man.
Of the whole world.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
They won an award for the greatest dance team ever assembled.
That's right.
So it's a big deal.
We're really proud of them. That is so,
No,
so cool.
really, in Corpus Christi, or in Galveston this
Galveston.
weekend, they did win national grand champions for dance team, for high school dance team.
Sweet action.
So that's huge. That's huge.
Sweet action.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, did you have any other questions?
Not right now, I don't think, no.
Cool, man. Well, hey, thanks for calling in, and we'll get that information to you as soon as we find it out, all right?
All right.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.
You
God
hope you
bless.
get the show.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
Sweet.
So, hey, we got a comment during that call, and it's Manuel again from San Antonio. He said Time Warner shut down his 40 megabyte per second fiber last month because one of their UPS batteries was dead, or UPS batteries.
Wow.
He was down for 10 minutes.
Wow.
It's not like he hosts a website or anything.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. He hosts websites. So that's got to be frustrating. I mean, 10 minutes downtime, that's an eternity, man.
Wow.
You lose people fast like
Wow.
that. I mean, so I don't know. What's your first reaction to that? Is it
Oh,
wow?
man. No, it's to make a fart noise.
Yeah.
Because that's just horrible, man. 10 minutes is like, might as well be 10 years
Yeah.
with a website.
I think it is an inception time.
Yeah, wow.
So,
Wow.
Anyway, so we had another comment come in, man. The text messages are just on fire.
They are ripping it up,
Diego
shredding the gnar.
from San Bernardino, California. He says, "What if you tether a Verizon iPhone and use MyWi?" It's a great question.
Yeah, it is.
Because as far as we've heard, Verizon isn't chasing those down. Maybe it's just an AT&T thing. So, man, if you have a Verizon iPhone, we'd love for you to keep trying that out and see if you
Right.
get any action. And we'll keep our ears to the pulse, our fingers on the Pulse app.
That's right.
You're welcome for that easy joke.
That's
and
right.
And see if we find information on that. And he wants to know, what do you think about the Blue Yeti Pro?
I've not heard of the Blue Yeti Pro. What is that?
It sounds exotic, and I'm going to do a quick little research on what a Blue Yeti Pro is.
Wow.
So,
While we watch.
Yeah. So, I don't know what it is.
You better text us and tell us
Yeah,
what it
let
is,
us know
man.
what it is, man.
Well,
I'd love to talk about it.
Well, that's our answer. Our answer is we've not heard of it. It sounds sweet.
Yeah. Hey, well, we want to get to our demo, man, because you guys, if we always talk about Apple, Android, and we always talking about different things that Android's doing. We've been talking about the Amazon App Store, and our demo tonight is going to be Randy lives and breathes Android. So the guy knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to Android. he does it for fun. He reinstalls ROMs on his phone and tries new things, and he's reading the blogs, and he's the guy for any question Android. So here in a second, we're going to have him show you kind of the ins and outs of an Android, kind of a top level thing. And we want to know, I'll stand here and I'll field your questions, and I can feed them to Randy. These questions, I will hand feed them to him while I fan
like
him.
Like grapes?
Yes, exactly,
Wow.
and I'll fan you.
I don't like where that's going.
Yeah, and I'll feed him the questions that you guys give me, and I'm going to have some questions as well, because I don't live and breathe it like he does. So it's really fun to watch him just kind of just get into this thing. It's like getting into the Matrix with Randy, this Android thing. So take it away, Randy. First off, what's the first thing a user would need to know, a person would need to know when they if they want to get an Android?
You would want to be fairly comfortable with Google, because unless you root an Android, they're pretty much tied with Google. But that's one of the things that I liked about the Android.
Sure.
That's one of the reasons why I jumped on the bandwagon right off the bat. I just bought last week, actually, a MyTouch 4G. I've been using an iPhone 4 for the past, what about 3 months, 2 months? Loved it. I wanted to get into that experience and immerse myself into it enough
Sure, good
so I
word.
could make a good, a good comparison between the two. And, really, we've talked about this a lot. Frankly, it's not really even a comparison. It's like comparing apples and oranges.
Or apples and Android.
That's right. Apples. Dude, that was awesome. I didn't know that was coming. So let's get a little zoom in here. This is a MyTouch 4G, and if you notice, it has a front-facing camera that is in response to the Apple having
Sure.
the front-facing camera.
Sure.
HTC is from Taiwan, and they've been putting out front-facing cameras in Asia for years and years and years. In Asia, a lot of the phones have front-facing cameras. A lot of them have FM radio. This one has FM radio. This is a 4G phone, so it works on T-Mobile's 4G network, HSDPA, I think is what they call it. I just wanted to point out, okay, what are some really good things about the Android? I would say right off the top of the bat, with Android, you get a customizable launcher. It's kind of like a home screen. Hopefully you can see this. This has got the windmill effect, which I love that. I think that is some sweet action right there.
That is sweet
I'm
action.
all about the eye candy. Anything eye candy is fun. That's called the windmill. But you can there's multiple launcher programs you can download. The one that comes with Android is pretty sweet in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
A few others that I would recommend. If you have an older, slower phone, go with Zeem. That's Z-E-A-M, Zeem. Zeem is like the smallest footprint, and it runs like a champ. Like if you have like an old Click or something like that, Zeem runs like a champ on Click. Also, ADW is another one. And then I've just got into these guys. This is a group over in China. This is called Go Launcher that I have. I like Go Launcher because it has a small footprint, and these guys are like shameless about copying everybody else's features, So if somebody else has got a feature, these guys are going to have it on here. Love it. I also use the Go text messaging app, and also sometimes use the Go dialer. Okay, so that's the launcher. And then with every launcher comes a little thing called the drawer. So if you push this little button down here, let's see, I couldn't see that. Okay, and this is the drawer that pops up. I think this is a real advantage about Android, is that the apps are all on one long page. And so you can go like this, and I'm not doing a very good job right now. You can scroll all the way down, scroll up. See, I love that about the Android, having easy access. And then this particular one has 3 tabs on the drawer. It has a recent tab, and so you can see the apps that I recently opened. And then it has a running tab. Just like every other operating system, everybody claims that if you have something in the background, it's not slowing you down, and that's just a bunch of noise with every kind of phone. I'll tell you, if there's stuff running in the background, it'll slow your phone down. That's all there is to it. And so in this little tab, I can click Close All Programs, and it'll say, you know, do you really want to do that? And yes, and bam, I'll close all programs, and it'll be just like I just started it up, you know.
Yeah.
So the launcher is one of the cool things. Another really cool thing about Android is the notification, the way they notify.
Yeah, I really like this a lot.
It's called a drape, and if you just put your finger up at the top and hold it, and then pull it down, it pulls down all your notifications. Now, first-time users of Android will see the notification because it shows up there in the top. Like if someone sent me a text, it would say, you know, I've got a text, and then the next little thing scrolls. And some people have had trouble with that. You know, like what the heck? Well, they didn't know there's a drape. So you put your hand right there, and then bam, all the stuff that you've been notified of. It's kind of cool because the way it notifies it's not obtrusive. So you can have it where maybe your phone vibrates or you get a little noise if something's going on. But it's not something that will, like, if you're in the middle of a game, it won't interrupt your game. It doesn't have to interrupt your game. I love that. In fact, I would bet money that the iPhone 5 will have a notification system, something similar to this, as far as when you receive it. Which, by the way, kind of a downside of Android, it's a downside and an upside, okay, is that the notification system is an always connected system, meaning that it's connected to Google. It goes through Google. It's always on. It's amazing. You know, blah blah blah. But the downside of that, Dom, is it uses battery life.
Right.
And with the iPhone, Apple went old school, and their notifications are basically like text messages, which don't use any battery life. That's I would say the #1 battery saver on the iPhone 4. And so I would love to see a newer Android version come out with something similar to the iPhone on how the notification gets here.
Right.
I would love iPhone 5 to come out with something similar once it gets here. Man, the notifications are great on this. Okay, a couple other things. So here's my home screen. And on the home screen, you can put icons that, you know, like your most favorite apps or whatever. And then it also has what are called widgets. And to get a widget to run, basically you just hold your finger here and a little thing will pop up. And you say widget, and then you can choose, you know, different widgets, different things that you have loaded. A widget is basically a program that you don't mind running all the time. It's a program that will run on the home screen. And so, like, here's a Google search widget. And so it'll ask me, do you want to search everything? You want to search the web or apps? Me personally, if I was going to have a widget like that, I'd want to search apps. So I'm going to say apps. And so now a little search bar goes up at the top, and if I want to find, you know, let's say I want to look for my Facebook app, it'll, you know, type in face, and then bam, there's the Facebook app, and that pops up.
What if you type in face page?
Face page, it takes you to tekmix.tv.
Nice.
It's some sweet action.
All right, now we got a question that came in about the Android. And the question is, do you feel like the touch sensitivity is better, worse, or the same? And well, this compared to the iPhone. Okay,
right.
Since you use the iPhone. Yes. And also, which do you feel has better apps?
I feel that the touch is pretty much exactly the same. That's one thing, that going from the iPhone 4 to the MyTouch 4G, which, by the way, love the iPhone 4, but I just felt like I was home and I want to start crying right now.
Wow.
Going back to the MyTouch, I love it. Okay, so as far as the touch goes, I feel the touch it's pretty much exactly the same. Now the apps, that's a great question, and I thought about this today over the last couple of days as I was thinking about doing this demonstration. There's a little more quality control on Apple's side. Now, don't get the idea that every iPhone app that's out there is quality. All you have to do is look at the most recent apps. Sometimes they have, you know, days where they let, it seems like, anything in.
Right.
But sometimes there seems to be sometimes more quality apps, but Google doesn't have an approval process.
Right.
Now what they do have is that instead of Apple, like Apple approves the apps, what Google has is in the market, there's a way, have the market app right here. In the market, there's a way that you can rate apps that have been downloaded. You can leave comments. If somebody puts a spam comment up there, You can mark it as spam, and it will get rid of it. You'll never see it again. And so the idea is that the community is involved in what's going on. Now, the Android is a jillion% capable of every single game that's out there. Apple has a really good SDK for graphics and stuff like that, and so Android has lagged behind a little bit on that. But I've noticed here
SDK is
software development
is a TLA for software development.
That's right, a TLA for software development kit. And I've noticed, especially with the Amazon App Store, they're raising the bar as far as what they allow into their App Store.
That's good.
And so you're seeing a lot better quality of apps. And it all goes back. That's been the age-old thing back when it was Apple versus PC. Apple wants to control the experience so they can put the best experience out to their customers, right? Android wants to not have control, and so in that explosion of apps and stuff like that, then a better experience from their way of thinking, a better experience can evolve out of that.
Right, it's kind of like a Web 2.0 thing, right, where the user controls the experience rather than them.
Right, right, and it really boils down to preference. It really does.
Sure.
And so a couple other things that I really like though. Google only sees one kind of app as competition, and that's a market app. And so if you and I wrote a market app and submitted it, we wouldn't see it. It actually would get on, but they would pull it. Okay, as soon as they found out about it, it would get pulled. But like a text messaging app that uses the phone, like I have one down here. If you can see in my dock bar, or whatever the heck it's called. I guess it's just a dock down here at the bottom.
I think Apple patented the word dock.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I have this. This is a messaging app that's called Go. That's the same people that write the. Can you see that? It's the same people that write the launcher program. Also, Chomp makes a great one. SMS, Chomp SMS, HandSent makes a great one. I like the fact that I can have different apps for different things, and I really like this Go SMS because it has a really small footprint. It's super fast. You know how like in we like Google Chrome most of the time, right?
Right.
Well, you know how you're like when you're in Google Chrome and you maybe go to a website and you're like, what? That's whack. Do you know there's actually some of Google's sites that don't work in Chrome?
Wow.
I'm gonna tweet that next time I notice that. I noticed that twice this week, and I had to go.
After you do that, you should say that's whack.
I'll say that's whack, which you haven't heard since the '90s,
yeah.
And then I'll also say you heard it first on TechMix. But you know how sometimes you have to load Firefox because Chrome can't show a website the right way. Well, on Android there is a plethora of competing browsers.
Could it be?
Right. So, like, I have a Firefox browser on here, which is pretty dang sweet, by the way. Love there's the built-in one. There's Dolphin, which that's my main one that I use because it integrates with my password program.
Right.
There's also Opera has one, which they also have an iOS version. And there's one called Skyfire. I believe they have an iOS version of that also.
Yeah, Skyfire's legit.
Yeah, and so you get to a website that maybe your main browser doesn't use or can't play or whatever, and you can go to one of the other browsers and hopefully get it to load.
Yeah, that dog won't hunt
or whatever. That's right. So
hey, okay, hold on. We got
yes,
we got a couple comments coming about what you're saying. We got a comment from Eric in Houston says that close all feature in the programs. He said that's really nice. He likes that. He said that the touch screen. He said that HTCs are sometimes notorious for having less sensitivity around the edges of a touch screen. Have you noticed that with with any of the HTC phones that you've used?
I probably have. Actually, I noticed that a tiny little bit with my iPhone 4, and it may just be touchscreens in general. I don't know. I've not had that particular issue. If I did have it, I would be worried that maybe it was a little defective. You know what I'm saying? That something was wrong with it. But I've never really noticed that. It's a great question, though.
Yeah. Actually, Diego from San Bernardino, I feel sheepish. I feel like a horse's patoot because he asked about the blue
Yes.
Yeti Pro. Look what you're speaking into.
Oh, durr.
So, thank you, Diego, for being super observant.
That's right. We are tech guys, not sound guys.
Right. So we are using a blue mic up there in front of Randy.
And we should know better because
yeah,
people have texted in several times asking, making comments about supposedly this is an amazing mic. I don't know because I'm not a sound guy. So were there a couple
I don't know if that mic even. I don't know if Randy even needs that mic, so we can't even really tell if it's a sound thing.
Exactly.
You can probably pick up Randy from
That's
this mic here. But we got a
this
question.
mic's actually turned off, man.
It says, "Tell Randy to talk about the way that you can use Android as a portable USB." That's a great thing because when you were able to do that. That was impressive to me because that's exactly what you would want. You don't want to have to carry around a portable USB and the phone and all of this shenanigan. Well, that's only two things, but you know what I mean.
Right.
So for you to be able to just plug it into a computer and the computer sees it as a drive that you can load stuff on, that's really cool.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And you want to know something? I would also say that could potentially be something in iPhone 5. The MacBooks have done it forever. You can use your MacBook as a flash drive, so it's not something that's
You just kind of take your MacBook, just kind of like plug it into a computer.
Yeah, actually, with a you didn't know that? Seriously, with the FireWire, there's actually, if you go to select the startup drive, you can say restart it as, I don't remember what it's called, but it's as a flash drive. Use the FireWire, and your other computer will see it.
So you just like kind of carry this like on your keychain and stuff.
You take a drill.
Hold on, I gotta.
You drill a hole in it.
So my keychain here, I just kind of plug it in here and just hold it while it downloads.
That's right. Okay, so so the feature that he asked about.
I don't know if I was done with my joke, but I mean, we're
that's
fine.
right.
Okay.
You just basically take your charge cable, you plug it into the phone, you plug it into your computer, and what it'll say, you have a little pull down that'll say connect as a USB drive. And so you just say yes, bam, right there. Depending on the make and model, you may have a confirmation or something like that. And then boom, the computer, whether it's Mac, Linux, Windows, whatever, the computer sees it as a USB drive, which is pretty sweet to have that in case you leave your flash drive at home or whatever.
Right.
You lost it at the Kindle party, things got wild. Next thing you know, you don't know where your flash drive is. Boom, you've always got your phone, and it's got Android flash drive capabilities.
You don't know what kind of viruses you can catch in the digital world from where your flash drive goes. So
that is. You're kind of making a joke, but that's the truest thing.
No, I'm not.
I
mean, I don't want to get all public service announcement on you, but you got to be careful where you put your flash drive.
Flash drives are the worst for getting viruses, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's where you can. I mean, it gets viral.
I mean, somebody says if they're like, we use LimeWire, we're like, virus. And then they're like, we use flash drives all the time. And we're thinking, virus.
Wow. I think I'm done.
Okay, so one more. While you're looking up the rest of the comments, we're about to wrap up the show here in a minute. One more thing about the Android that I really love is that the apps can share with each other. The apps can share with each other a ton of information. And so, like, if let's say I'm in my Pulse app. Love the Pulse app. They came out with the Android version recently.
Yes.
Love it. Totally legit. I'm in the Pulse app, and there's usually on every single app, there's a place where you can select share, and then all of your apps that have registered to share pop up in this little menu. So I can share this with my SMS messaging. I can share it with my Instapaper account. I can share it with Google Voice. I can share it to my Astrid tasks, which sync with my Google tasks. Twitter, Seismic, GoSMS, WordPress, Facebook, LastPass, Evernote, GroupMe, Gtask, Dropbox. I mean, I can even put it on Cerami and put it on my Windows Live account. And so basically, an app just has to say, I share, and then they show up in that list.
I share!
I share! Hey, thanks for calling tekmix.tv. Who are we speaking with tonight?
This is Ralph.
Hey, Ralph. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. I got a question. You were talking about widgets earlier.
Yes, sir.
And on my Android Evo, I have nothing much.
Which is a sweet phone, by the way. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, I'm still here. Okay. And my question was,
You're on the air.
I have the bookmark widget, and I just want to use the Facebook one on there and not the Google, CNN, ESPN, and all that. How do I just put that on my dock, just the Facebook on my bookmarks? Because I've done that on my Hero.
I'm sorry. When you say dock, can you say dock TM by Apple?
That's right.
Because I think they trademarked that word.
Are you wanting to load it on the dock down at the bottom, or are you wanting to put the widget on the home screen?
No, I got the widget on my home screen, but it takes up battery life, apparently.
Okay.
And I just want to use the Facebook on there and just put it on my dock.
Okay, so here's what you
not
do.
the whole widget.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead, we'll hang up, and then I'll demonstrate how to delete a widget and then how to add an icon to your dock, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, man, thanks for calling in.
Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right, talk to you later. Okay, so yeah, great question. The widgets do use battery life. Basically, everything that's, that does things uses battery life, right? Okay, so I've got my little, this is my weather widget. This is on my my Nook. So I thought it might be a little bit bigger. Basically, hold your finger on the widget without pulling up, and then what it'll do, it'll change sizes. And then on this one, you just drag it down until it turns red, and then bam, it's deleted, okay? So then you go into your app drawer, which is right here, and I'm going to take the Facebook. Okay, so the drawer's open. Hold your finger on the Facebook app, and it'll come back out to here. And so there, if I let go now I've got the Facebook icon on my desktop. I want to move it into the dock. I just hold it down and bring it down to the dock, and then bam, it's on my dock. Which, by the way, this little dock resizes, and so now I've got way too many apps. I mean, I can show you that on my MyTouch also, but it's basically same thing. Hold down until you get, on this one you get a little trash can, and so you just hit trash can, and then bring the app up from the app drawer, and okay, go over to all, bring the app from the app drawer. Where is it? I've got like 108 apps, and not even sure if my face, there it is, right there. And on this one, it actually, you can uninstall from here, or move to screen. And so I got it back on the screen. And once again, you want to get it on the dock, you just hold it down, and then you drag it down here to the dock, and kabam, you got it down there on the dock. Pretty sweet action.
Nice, yeah, it really
Pretty
is.
sweet action.
It really is. A couple quick comments, and then we got to wrap up.
Okay.
But we love you guys, and we want to get your comments on the air. It says, "Dear Randy, your love for Android helps me not hate Android as much."
That's
great. That really is, because
right.
honestly,
There's
you've
nothing
helped,
to hate.
No, well, take it easy. Honestly, you've really helped me kind of give Android a chance, and I'm not gonna use an Android, but it really makes me not think it's as dumb as it might be.
Right.
And it says, "Dear Randy, the Android phone you're demoing is ridiculously large." So,
Heck yeah.
so,
heck yeah, it is. That's why I bought it.
yeah. And then,
Hey, let me make a comment on that about the not hating Android. One thing on our show, we try to be as unbiased as possible. I mean, I don't make any bones that I love Android. You don't make any bones that you love Apple stuff. I love Apple stuff too. But one thing we try to do, we try to be unbiased. And the reality is that the Android phone is an amazing phone that can do amazing things. The Apple iPhone 4 is an amazing phone that can do amazing things. And different phones work better for different people.
Right.
And, I want a little more edge on my experience. I want a little more, just a little more interaction, which puts you out into the risky category there,
Right.
Apps sharing all kinds of stuff with each other and all that. But I like that. That's what I want. So it's a better fit for me most of the time.
Yeah.
But over the years I've had 4 iPhones and was happy with every single one of them. One thing I don't like sticking with one phone all the time.
Right, and that is your thing, is you love to swap phones back and forth, and that's kind of the way it's going with a lot of geeks and nerds out there. Is I like to just change them out, whatever the next new feature is. Well, hey, you guys, we got to wrap up. We've already kept you guys on. I know we started a little late, so we wanted to make sure we got you guys the full information that we had tonight, and then also the demo of the Android. You guys keep sending us in your questions and your comments. Man, last tech tip of the day, you talked about that. You know, when you're booting up your Mac, hold down the T button, and it comes up with a little flash drive symbol, and that's how you can use it as a target disk mode.
Sweet
tip
action.
of the day, and that came from Eric in Houston. Hey, you guys, thanks so much for watching the show tonight. We love you guys texting in and calling in. We do this show for you guys. And if there's anything we can do here to help you guys understand technology more, you got to let us know, and we'll help you out. Thanks to our sponsors, Tech Rescue, making technology work for you, taking care of all your computer needs. Randy, take us home. I want to give you the end of the show.
Wow. Do I get the last word?
You do.
Man, appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. The cameras aren't on me, so you got to do the last word, bro.
Appreciate you. Hey, what Randy said, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Think tekmix.tv and make sure to tell all your friends that we've moved to Monday nights at 9 p.m. Don't look for us tomorrow online. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a good week and a good night.
That's right. Y'all have an awesome week. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you. Okay,
Appreciate
thanks.
you.
See you
Talk
later.
to you later.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Okay, bye. Later.